Good afternoon. It's a pleasure to be here. My name is Orkan Telhan. I'm the co-founder and the chief design officer of Biorealize, and we make new kinds of prototyping tools for the bioeconomy. So in the past 10 years, I'm sure that you're aware of the fact that biology is becoming the new digital. Fabrication is changing. The way we make plastics, the way we make clothing, the way we make food is highly influenced the way we work with living organisms. So what you're seeing on the screen is new kinds of fibers that are grown out of spiders, milk that is grown out of yeast instead of animals. So we are really changing the way we make things. So this is a big industry that is, it's $1 billion industry that's growing every year, and it's the fastest growing industry in the US economy. So what is in common of all these different products? Now we work with biologists and scientists. We come up with different ways to program microorganisms. This means that we put DNA inside these organisms and then come up with new kinds of chemicals, which can then be prototyped into new materials, new kinds of food, new kinds of biosensors, which then get scaled up in traditional fermenters for mass manufacturing. So we are inventing the way we make new kinds of products, but 3 different stages: research, prototyping, and production. But currently, there's a problem in this innovation pipeline because research is expensive. You have to rely on manual labor, a lot of manual training for scientists to become experts in biology, or you work with mainframe-like computers. Biology equipment is expensive, it's very specialized, and more importantly, those tools that allow you to innovate with biology is not necessarily accessible to the layman on the street, meaning media lab researchers, meaning designers, architects, product designers, they don't have access to tools to really make them push technology. And the last step of the puzzle is there's really no way to standardize the way with biology. We cannot really create recipes which can then be handed over to big infrastructure, big companies to scale up our production. So our solution to this is we built an all-in-one bioprototyping tool. You can imagine this, the future of a 3D printer. It has, it's a completely new kind of prototyping paradigm. So the way we work is that you don't have to know that much about biology. You can load DNA and organisms on one end to a platform, which can then put the DNA inside the organisms and then cultures them and actually makes products out of them, and then you can utilize them. So I brought a prototype machine, so you can, after the talk, you can take a look at this. I think the video got a little bit clipped. So the main message is how do we digitize biology so that the way we design organisms is very much the same as we design buildings, we design clothing. So we design everything in software, and then we use a very low-cost prototyping tool. We are talking about less than $5,000, very cheap, so you can have them networked all around in different places of the world, so you can share recipes and information, and eventually output right away what you have grown from the system. So you can basically very much design, test, build the same way you do 3D printing or laser cutting. So it's a new way to think about bringing digital fabrication into digitalized biology. So we work with 3 different arms of researchers: industry, designers. We have 25 companies that are already accepted to test our equipment. We already know that the space of lab automation is $6 billion, but we have seen Formlab's presentation. This is a very big industry. Once we arrive to the place of how to make every person who can use 3D printers use biological prototyping, then it will be a huge market and a huge innovation space that we can all get excited about. It's a team, we are a team of 3 people. I am a designer, we have a biologist and a systems engineer. And at the end of the talk, you can find me and I can explain you how everything works, and I can demo the equipment. Thank you very much.